What started as 11 now sits at just 4. Cody Shalfo here for the CACC men's soccer semifinal here, hosted by number 1 Post University as they take on Holy Family, number 5 seed in the conference championship tournament. Post earned the number 1 seed for what seems like the 100th year in a row. They will be here on home turf for the semifinal matchup against number 5 Holy Family. Holy Family, they weren't selected to finish in a playoff spot by the coach's preseason poll. They ended up going to number 5 at the end. Everything was said and done, and not only that, but went to Jefferson, upset the Rams 1-0 on a goal by number 7, Jesus Gonzalez, in the 85th minute to bring them to today. These teams have met multiple times. Each of the last 3 times have been in a pretty similar spot. Win today, go to the championship round. Each of the last 3 times, it's Post coming away with that victory, with that honor, and we'll see if the tides change here today. Again, thank you for joining us here at Lemoy Field. Cody Shalfo here on the call, and let's meet today's starting lineups first for Holy Family. Senior defender number 2, Bogdan Steer. A sophomore midfield number 6, Kevin Castro. Senior forward number 8, Ned Lewis. The top goal scorer for the Tigers. He has 7 coming into play today, including 2 game winners. Dimitri Lagishvili, he'll be in the midfield wearing number 10. Hugo Gutierrez will be wearing number 11 in the midfield as well. Sean McKenna, one of the captains of this team, will be in the defensive backfield. He wears 13. Ricardo Penicia Geraldez, he wears number 17. Lucas Saad, Luis Rekimuzi, and Jarrett Lally as well, with Bruno Mestras going to be the goalkeeper here this afternoon. Post puts up a very familiar lineup. If you've been watching them this season, you kind of know all the names. Aiden Tross, a junior, wears 5. Lucas Glade, senior, wears 6. Marcus Botungi, a senior, wearing number 8. Luis Rodriguez, the top goal scorer for the team, he wears number 10. We'll see if he gets more involved than he was in last effort's game this past Sunday against Georgian Court, a 1-0 win. Pedro Vercosa, a freshman defender, and Pablo Tenorio, the goal scorer in that affair. He will wear number 14 in the midfield. Iago Rodriguez in the backfield. Mateus Milagros up forward, number 23. Lucas Fernandez, a senior, 26. Leopold Dufont, one of the best, if not the best, goalkeepers in all the nation, regardless of division, regardless of where they're playing. He wears 30. He'll be back there in the all-gray kit. And Agnaldo Germano, the talented freshman defender, will be in front of him wearing number 40. Holy Family comes into play today 7-8-3, 4-3-3 in the CACC, while Post 8-1-7 finished up 6-0-4. And again, picked up another regular season title. That's the 5th straight they've come into the tournament as the number 1 seed. Again, winner moves on to Saturday. Will be played here at Lemoy Field regardless of who is going to be in it. Wilmington and Bridgeport will be going on as well, and we will be seeing what time they kick off. But we are ready to go here in Waterbury, Connecticut, as it'll be Holy Family in the black kits with the white numbers and the light blue sleeves take on the all-white wearing Post University Eagles. So they're stowed away to begin. Posts will have the first real crack at things. And then Wilmington and Bridgeport will be going on around the same time today. They are in Bridgeport. We will be following that game as it happens. So we'll tune in and give little updates and see what Saturday might lend us here on the men's side of the bracket. We got to get through today first. Milagros on the outside. He'll come around. Again, a very good defensive team. One of the best defensive teams is Post. They rank in the top 25, top 50, and sometimes even the top 10 in a lot of the important defensive statistics. 2nd in save percentage, 8th in goals against average total. Also one of the top win-loss tie percentage leaders in Division II as well. Only been defeated once this season. That was the end of the year against a nationally ranked Bentley squad, a team that actually Holy Family defeated to begin the year. Here's Tross, and he will be taken care of deep into the corner. Coming up is Lekashvili. Germano gets it back from Tross, and they will reverse sides again. Like we said, Holy Family was selected to finish 9th in the CACC preseason poll. Missed the playoffs the last 2 years, but the previous 4 years before that, they were in the semifinals each season. And looking to finally break free of that semifinals is as far as we're going mark they've shown over the last couple of seasons. 5th semifinals appearance in 7 seasons. They've been shut out a couple of times this year, 6 times, but most of it at home. They've actually been very good on the road, at least scoring goals. And they're going to need to score goals against a very stout defense this afternoon. Take it down, no call. A lot of cards given out in the first round matchup between Georgian Court and Post. A lot coming later into the game. Georgian Court coaching staff had things to say about how the game is being officiated. Both teams ended up getting pretty chippy towards the end, so we'll see if we can quell those behaviors today. Great job by Panikia Giraldez to get a forehead on it and stop that through ball from getting to its destination. In front. Post will take their time. They are not afraid to let everything kind of play out. So we will see how they decide to attack things today. Usually they will just try to move it around in the backfield, not get too ahead of themselves, try to find a crack in the defense. Is going up and over goes McKenna, and down is Glade. So they're talking to Kevin Castro. In the mix there is Lucas Saad as well. And Glade will get the free kick from about the 45-yard line. And again, they will just bring it back and play conservative. They move it around, like we mentioned, try to find a crack in the defense. They've been scoring a lot more lately. Over the past few games, they've had a couple multi-goal decisions, and that's kicked away. Trying to find Lucas Fernandez in the middle. That would have been his first goal if he was able to tap it in, but good defense by the Tigers. Bruno Mestris actually come on the scene as of late. The last few weeks he's gotten the starting nod. It was Joey Phillips for most of the year, who was all right. 12 games, 12 starts, 3-7-2 record, a goals against average around 3. But since they made the switch to Mestris, 7 games, 6 starts, 4-1-1, 8.54 save percentage, and a goals against average sub-1. Only 6 goals allowed in his 6 starts, 7 games total, and has put together 3 clean sheets as is. Just 1 for Phillips. So they made the switch. Mestris has been great from Sao Paulo, Brazil. And two of the hottest goalkeepers in the conference going at it today. Leopold Defont, pretty much an impenetrable wall, and showed up with an 11-save performance against Georgian Court. And towards the end, they needed saves 8, 9, 10, and 11 pretty bad. Tenorio scored on a penalty kick in the middle of the first half. And that was all that Post needs. And really, with a team as good defensively as they've been, one's all they've needed for the past couple of years, really. On the run is Glade. He'll move back and forth in this area of the field. Botungi down to Tenorio. Fernandez with some space. Rodriguez to his right. Now comes left. Chipped up. And that's deflected. And not a great shot initially from Rodriguez. Actually bounced off a Holy Family defender and almost scooted in. Estris is there, but already a really good offensive chance for Post. They'd be wise to keep up that momentum. Ned Lewis, one of the most dangerous goal scorers on the pitch today, going to be watching number 8 a lot. Gutierrez gives up to Castro. He gets down to Steer. Saad to Castro. Castro moving quickly. Fernandez, good defense, and Germano, good defense. Twice they stripped the pockets of Castro and can't get a clean shot. For Cosa. Tegmalo Germano. Tenorio has been on fire as of late. His last 7 goals, or last 7 games, you've seen him score 5 times, assist on 2, and 12 points, including a couple game winners in that stretch as well, including the one on Sunday. These two teams faced earlier in the season, all the way back on October the 4th in Philadelphia. Actually, the first multi-goal game for the Eagles all season, where they won 3-1 against the Tigers in Philadelphia. (6-0-1) in their last 7 games against Holy Family. 16-10-3 overall. And this one's loose. It's just all the way out of the box, just trying to clear it. And this one dangerously crossed the pitch. 5-1 all-time in the playoffs. Post is against Holy Family, at least what I was able to gather. And the last 3 wins have come in the CACC semifinals, like you mentioned. This matchup over the last couple of seasons, first time they're meeting the playoffs, I believe, since 2019. But a good chunk of the 2010 saw these two teams meet up in this exact situation in the playoffs. Post on their way to 14 conference championships since 2002. Have beaten the Tigers to get there the last 3 times that these two teams have played in the playoffs. Castro boots it all the way towards the far end of the pitch. Panicia Giraldez. Back to Castro. Panicia Giraldez trying to find somebody Lewis has space. Try to curve it. Actually put a backspin on it. And it curled away from a teammate instead of diving towards Hugo Gutierrez. Kind of screwballed it. And that takes away a chance from the Tigers. Can they generate another? Not before it gets to Germano. Germano from Naugatuck, Connecticut. About a stone's throw away from campus. So not too much of a commute for him. Tross down the near wing. And tripped up his Botungi. Will be a fortuitous free kick opportunity. And we'll see who takes it. Fernandez likes to do stuff. Rodriguez, they have take some later towards the end of games. And Fernandez is in a spot where they could do either. They can put it on net. They can pass it short. They can curl it for a teammate. Kind of do whatever they want here. Fernandez, the left boot from him. It's going past with it. Back post. And I believe that's Botungi who can't quite get to it. And another opportunity passes the Eagles by. We like the offensive aggressiveness early. You don't see much of that early in the games from the Eagles. You had that one opportunity from Rodriguez about 5 or 6 game minutes ago, and then that one right there. That's just to let a teammate boot it and cut the field in half. There's Luis Rodriguez. Up ahead, full head of steam. Goes Milagros. Chip headed away. In defense, Sean McKenna. Bounding. Botungi settles it. 31-28. Almost 15 minutes through. Half number 1. Fernandez running circles. Some more good defense by McKenna. Tross and Fernandez there, hounding. Glade also gets into the action. Botungi keeps it back into the corner. Fernandez scoops up with it. Tenorio. Eventually taken away from Saad. Into the corner they play. Saad still with it, trying to bend it to Lewis. And last touch, they say. Looks like off post last. Oh, excuse me, off Holy Family last. The referee had to come over and give talk to Ned Lewis, one of the captains on Holy Family's side. No man's land, sent away by Lally. Nursing major from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. CACC All-Academic a season ago for the junior defender. He was played and started in all 17 games, or 17 of the 18 games. The only player, looks like we have 2 on the roster to start and play in every single game this season. Bogdan Stier and Ricardo Panikia Giraldez, each with 18 games, 18 starts. Down hard goes Tross. Throw-in upcoming for the Eagles. Likashvili gives chase before it's sent all the way around. Germano had a stint with the Hartford Athletic before coming over to post. believe in the USL, if I have my soccer leagues correct. Has already twice been named Defensive Player of the Week and once Rookie of the Week. Has started and played in all but one game this season. Mistress is there in the right corner, or from his perspective, left corner of the 18-yard box. Chipped up. Rodriguez has it to Tenorio. Trying to get back to Rodriguez. A little bit away from the desired spot, so they'll backtrack it. Saad, intercept. Has Lewis to his right. They're going to go that way. Lewis, his 7-goal shot blocked. Getting in the way is Verkosa. And first offensive chance shunned by Holy Family. Kept in. Steer tight-roping the sideline, but can't keep it in on the pass up ahead. Again, a good slide tackle still to Lucas Fernandez. Botangi. In the corner, Milagros. They're going to bend it over again. Late push, Tross. Rodriguez, Fernandez. No call. Goal post. Fernandez, his first of the season. And everybody up in arms. It bounced around a couple of times. Back of the net. And it will stand. Post on the board first. Good passing right around the cage. And it's Fernandez who eventually puts it in. His first of the season. Rodriguez had a chance on it. Seemed like everyone on the team had a touch before Fernandez put it in. And just like that, 1-0 Posts to begin things here at Lemoy Field. The favorites in this tournament. 1-0. All they needed was one against Georgian Court. We'll see if all they need is one here against Holy Family. The 3 goals they put on Holy Family earlier this year, the second highest total they've put out. They had a 4-0 win against Chestnut Hill College on the 25th of October. Either way, Holy Family behind the 8 ball early, 1-0 off of a goal from Lucas Fernandez. Also to keep an eye on the other matchup going on today. Around the same time, again, both these games kicking off around the same time. Bridgeport just tied things up a few moments ago. It's 1-1, Bridgeport against Wilmington. And Milagros off as he started that whole ordeal. We'll see how the Tigers respond. into the game for the first time, Mohamed Sanyang, replacing Milagros, who came off a couple of times on Sunday. And so we'll see how long it takes for him to get out there. And Tross and Rodriguez will pick up assists there. The second for Tross and the fourth for Rodriguez. As we talked about Tenorio's hot start, or hot last 7 games. Same can be said about Rodriguez, who picks up an assist here. 4 goals, 3 assists, 11 points in his previous 7. That obviously includes the win against Georgian Court, where he was kind of a no factor, but already getting in there early here. Whistle blows. And Saad, in the face of the referee, McKenna comes over and not really quite sure what the stoppage was there about, but he had a couple Tigers by the middle field judge.
Don't worry about switching too much, just because you don't want to give some excuse when they're. It's I normally try to do it on pass. Yeah. Or if they're running run breakaway, but oh yeah, I saw that. But then she'll retype it. Oh, okay, that's not a big deal. But now I know what I have to do. Yeah.
Up ahead, Rodriguez. See if Post can add on. Post came into the game last time out, ranked in the top 25, I think, receiving votes now this week. 3 straight years they've been to the NCAA round of 16, haven't quite broken above that barrier, and trying to do so this year. And they have a team that can be a national championship. It really all depends on, will they get enough offense? And that's kind of been the story. The defense is as stout as they come. Leopold Defont has been incredible, as well as the mixture of seniors and freshmen in that back line. Actually a pretty young defensive backfield with Agnaldo Germano and Pedro Vercosa, both freshmen. You also have Iago Rodriguez as a graduate, as they play 3 deep. So they trust their defenders. So free kick upcoming, a foul on Post. It'll be Sean McKenna, the biology major from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Boots it away. It's down near the box. Good defense. I think Botungi got a forehead on it. Saad. Tight roping. Saad also has the cast on his left hand. Tross trying to tightrope it, can't quite. Sanyang was right there to make a run if they were able to keep it in, but alas, unfortunately, cannot. Font hasn't faced a shot yet. The only one we've seen so far got blocked. We're looking for maybe a second one there, but Rekamuzi stumbles. And looks like Glade will have the clock stop for him as a boot comes off. So let him tie his cleats, and again, clock stops at 21:37. Again, the winner of this one will be back here on Saturday, whether it's Post University or Holy Family, as Post has won the bid to host the conference championship, regardless of outcome. Bridgeport and Wilmington will be up here. One of the two will be up here. Wilmington and Bridgeport knotted at 1, and around the same juncture we are at here. They're a couple minutes ahead. Regardless, we will most likely know the matchup when we get done here today, if not right as we log off. Tenorio splits the gap. Gets it to Rodriguez. Back to Luis. Lucas Fernandez, the goal scorer today. And Post in no hurry, especially now with the 1-0 advantage. Good move. Germano creates space to Tross on the run. Sanyang pointing. Gets it to him. Oh, could have turned back to Tross a second late. It was a half step behind. Passed that one earlier would have been at least a really good shot. And right behind Sanyang again, one of the first to come off the bench usually. And today, no exception. Longer still working on stretching out a bit. And Sanyang down, clock stops. And the referee not assessing any cards, but has been getting personal with the players. Let them know, like, hey, this is the foul, this is why, and calls over Lally and a little pat on the cheek. And Lally wins the physicality battle against Sanyang, has a couple inches on him. It's the Tigers reversing field, gets all the way back to Bruno Mestris. Into the corner it goes. Holy Family with it. They clear it out. And no all-conference members a season ago for Holy Family. Again, finished as one of the bottom teams in the conference and missed the playoffs for the second straight season. Chip it up. Lewis on the run. Outside. Leopold Dufont. Airborne to stop it. Still in possession of the Tigers. And Post clears away. Dufont gets active for the first time tonight. Off the right boot of Hugo Gutierrez. It looks like Jackson Kiss, number 12, for Holy Family looking to check in. On the other side, Diego Rigi looking to go in for the Eagles in just a moment. And the other thing to kind of note here is how much shorter the usual lineups are and the rotations are here in the playoffs. Some teams don't really change much, and then for most of the time, it's you play your starters a little bit more. Maybe your 6th or 7th guy off the bench doesn't really see the field much, if at all. You go with your top reserves, and that's pretty much it. You see that basketball all the time. Not really managing pitch counts in the playoffs. You're trying to win ball games. And the best on the field are who's going to get it done for you. Zenying again. Looks like he's playing Twister out there. He's trying to get these passes a little bit too far out in front. To the outside, deep into the corner. Fernandez goes middle. Rodriguez fakes the back. The shot, and just wide. He faked the heel tap back and freed himself up dead central and just off. So Kiss is on with Lekishvili off, and Diego Rigi is in for post while he gets some of the first true bench action. And Fernandez, the goal scorer, will be the one taken off for a quick breather. Popped up, Gutierrez trying to go middle. And that is snuffed out. Good defense from post. Center back for Kosa. Lewis to Saad. Saad comes near side. Kiss just freshly into the game. Gets it up. Germano's there. Tries to save it. And the far referee says that did cross the end line. It will be the first corner kick for the Tigers. Came into play today with 91. So we'll see what they do with their first opportunity. That's not clean from either team. Leopold Dufont got into the back of the net, as well as Ned Lewis. Dufont, they got a hand on it, and then kind of just no one was there. Would have been a juicy rebound opportunity, but Post able to at least hold strong to begin. Deep throw, and Dufont is there. Easy ground ball to him. Get all the way down. Home run pass to Rigi, and that one is sent away. Tenorio comes off as a couple substitutions come on for Post. So Bo Pomeroy checks in as well as number 15, Cormac McGinley. And looks like the first corner attempt for Post coming up. It's up. Back post. McGinley got the first touch on it. This pops all the way out to Lewis. Trying to get it through. Sanyang gets a body on it. Holy Family trying to turn and burn. Header wave by Furcosa. Rodriguez. A little bit behind Rigi. And the hero for Holy Family from last time out, Jesus Gonzalez, looking to check in. He had the game winner in the 85th minute against Jefferson and got them to this point. Castro strips Anyang. A great side tackle by Vercosa. Plays above his years as a freshman coming in. And both freshman defenders do. It's such a treat again to watch them go. Tross, who has flipped sides now on that far wing, gets it back to Vercosa. Chipped and unplayable for Holy Family. Under 10 to go in half number one. 9 minutes, 45 seconds left to go. Cody Schaffel here on the call. We thank you for joining us. It's 1-0. Your goal scorer this afternoon so far, Lucas Fernandez, getting there his first of the season. And what was ping-ponged around 35 different Eagles players before finally finding the back of the net. As the sun finally decides to join us. Space for Muhammad to work. Dufont gets it out of harm's way. Now go Rodriguez. Pomeroy trying to get down to the corner. Tross, hesitation step, but still a bit too far away from him. Good job faking out the defense. And with that whistle, Jesus Gonzalez with the yellow boots. Hard to miss him. He will check in for the first time. And Hugo Gutierrez will take the seat. So the two Spaniards check in for each other. Gonzalez from Madrid and Hugo from Valladolid. Rodriguez for Costa to McGinley, and they will rotate around again. Ronaldo Germano trying to find Rodriguez. Couldn't. Botungi back with it off the deflection. Under 7 to go, closer to 6.5. Left in half number 1. 1-0 in post. They've shown last couple years with the defense this good, 1 is all they really need. I'm sure they'd like to get some more, though. Is he offsides or on? No whistle yet. Rigi works in the corner. Chips. Back post. Tross. Back middle. Deflected. Sent down. Rodriguez. Saved. Holy Family picks up the save. Mestres is there. Good passing still by Post in close quarters. But Mestres blanks Rodriguez again. Back and forth these two teams go, and for Post, over the couple of games I've gotten a chance to watch them this year, definitely the most aggressive offensively. Ben Trosh just wins the foot race, but too far ahead. Chipped up. Settled, booted, and ground ball to short, 2 out in the 4th. Tapped around. Big run-up coming, a little too far out in front. As Mestres is there, as well as a whistle blows the play dead anyway. Clock still runs. It's going to be a free kick for the Tigers. All the way down the pitch near the box. Gonzalez to the ground trying to clear it. Castro. Yeah. We noticed a couple of times against Georgian Court kind of just went right down the middle and was able to free up some space for them with how good the defense is and how much they have everything on lock. It's crazy that people rarely check the front door, and sometimes the front door is open for this defense, and Georgian Court took advantage of it a couple times, could not really score off of it, but got some nice shots, collapsed the defense by just kind of going middle. Rigi freed up. This is onside. All the way down. Stopped by Mestres. Again, right paw. Gets down. Saves it for Holy Family. And Mestres alone keeping this a 1-0 game where very easily could have been 2-0, 3-0. All the way down. Lewis can't quite get the touch he wanted. And this will go down as a deep throw-in, I believe, for Post. And Marcelo Michel is in for the first time. he will come on, and they will presumably give the next 2 minutes off for Luis Rodriguez. He was come so close to pay dirt a couple of times tonight. One missed on his own volition, one was saved. Under 2. This one's deep. Michelle Rigi and Sanyang, some of the newcomers into the game, all in the area. The corner to Muhammad. Back out, still by the sideline, and incomplete pass that will go to Holy Family. Misplayed out of the box. Michel passed up this time as Mestris a couple of times have come out of his perch. That one the most dangerous. His shot was blocked. Keeping it into the corner. Back out, right along the box. Trying for the corner kick. And I think they got it. Clock will stop as well. I think the referee barking at McKenna again. And a card assessed to McKenna. Referee a couple of times has talks number 13 in black, and we heard him just a moment ago yell 13-13. And now McKenna getting into it with Post a little bit. Some extracurriculars with 44 seconds left to go in the first half. Just an update for all those curious. Bridgeport and Wilmington deadlocked at 1 as they entered or exit the first half. So McKenna getting yelled at by the referees, yelled at by Post, yelled at by his own teammates. So the corner upcoming. It is up. Comes all the way out, back into the box, kicked back out. Botungi trying to settle it. And throw in for Post. 30 seconds left. Can they keep the pressure on? Maybe crack the case one more time. Into the air. Ping-ponged around.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
And with the clock running out, that seems to be the first half. And it is Post with the lead 1-0 as we conclude the first 45 minutes of play here. Second half action will be back in about 15 minutes. Don't go anywhere, folks. A big one upcoming. And I was about to say, last time we went for the first half, we found a card. We have another one coming up here, as it looks like Ned Lewis just picked up the second total Holy Family card in the last 45 seconds of gameplay. So that is something that we end the first half with. Either way, 1-0. Fernandez is your goal scorer. We'll be back in about 15 minutes for half number 2.
Joined by junior forward Alyssa Rosingno for Women's Basketball's Media Day. Alyssa, talk about how your role evolved last year. You went on going from averaging 8.6 points per game to nearly 13 by the end of the season and led the team in scoring.
Yeah, I would say that I think it was a lack of focus in the beginning of the year. I think I almost wasn't like fully prepared, and then I know the New Haven game hit and I didn't start because my lack of focus, and I think that was like a switch for me where everyone around me was like, you're not doing what you're capable of. And then I picked it up, and then I kind of got back in my groove and found my game and didn't let so many outside factors affect it. But yeah, I just like honestly had fun. I think I stopped worrying so much about what was going on outside of basketball or even in the game, and I just like overall had a lot of fun.
And then, what was your first season like with Post coming from a Division I school in Niagara University, where you played in pretty much every game there too?
I think that it was a big jump from. I did play at Niagara. I luckily did get minutes, but I think coming from more of like a bench player to having to be somebody who shows up all day, every day, was a big adjustment because. In high school, everyone's the star, and then you go to a Division I school, and you're like humbled in a good way. And then I think coming back here, being in somewhere that I fit better, just with the team, the coaches, or whatever, that I had to just take on a big role and just like adjust to that, and just find my confidence again. And I think towards the end of last year, just proved how well I could play, and I'm excited to continue that this year.
And then, what was one thing you learned during last season that you hope to apply this season with the team?
Patience. I think that was a big thing for me, being patient and understanding with a lot of things. Even in just general with like my own game, being patient. I think I felt like I sometimes like needed to put up 20 to win towards the end of the year, but I realized I'm surrounded by hardworking teammates always, and just giving everyone grace, myself grace, my teammates grace, coaches grace, just like stop worrying so much. Like just go, like literally I think at one point I went and I was like, you know what, I just want to have fun.
And then finally, with the healthy mix of newcomers and returners, how do you think this team can improve upon what they started to build towards the end of last year when you had that winning streak going into the playoffs?
Yeah, I think we're going to improve tremendously. Just our practices look better. We do have a core group of returners. Like I know, sadly, Hannah will not play this year, which sucks, but we have like me, we have Jazz, Cam, Nicole back. I think just having, like, and more people, but that's just like ones at the top of my head. I think having returners who played big minutes and who know what it's like to lose, know what it's like to win, and know what it is to put the work in, I think just makes our practices like very elite level practices. Like the second things go wrong, it's immediate, let's fix it. It's not, last year I think we just let it drag on, and now we know our standards and we're holding everyone to that standard.
Joined by junior guard Hannah Finnerty. Hannah, like I asked Alyssa, transitioning from Division I, you were at Siena College to Division II with Post. Talk about what that transition was like during your first season.
I had also taken a year off, like a gap year to separate, so coming back, I feel like there was a lot of knocking off the rust, but coach and the team were very receptive and they were very helpful with all of that. But I feel like my experience at Siena did give me a better chance to like adapt to the new concepts that we were learning and just a better overall understanding of the game.
And then in your first 2 seasons of playing college ball, talk about how your game evolved over time.
It evolved slower than I hoped it would, but it definitely did evolve. My biggest thing right now is just consistency and getting myself to consistently play at the level I want. But Coach has a great program. She has a great offense, great defense she runs, so it definitely helps smooth the transition.
And then as the team's leading three-point shooter last season, how do you continue to perfect your craft from beyond the arc to be a deep shooting threat for the team?
I mean, unfortunately, I can't play this year due to an injury, but that doesn't stop me from trying to get my teammates better, helping them in any way I can, whether that's shooting, ball handling, or even just seeing the things off the court that they might not be able to see on the court. But when I do get back for next year, my biggest thing is going to be shooting when I'm tired, being able to knock those important shots down at crucial moments.
And then finally, having a healthy mix of newcomers and returners. How do you, as one of those returners, help the newcomers adapt to the culture that Coach Burns has created for the program, especially now that you'll be seeing things from a different perspective on the bench this year?
Yeah, I think Coach, she's created a great atmosphere of family and a great culture for us to play at the highest level we can. And as the returners, and there's a lot more of us this year, it's a lot more helpful. Things run a lot more smoothly as like we kind of help her coach in a way. Like we know all the concepts now, so we help out with the little things that maybe we didn't have last year.
Here with sophomore guard Cam Porter. Cam, being a freshman last year, what was your biggest takeaway or thing you learned from your first season of collegiate basketball?
Well, I think when it comes to gameplay, I think consistency, like practice to games, everything translates. So I think we play hard in games, we play hard in practice, everything comes together, and we end up having a good game.
And then for both freshmen coming onto the team and players out there looking to play at the collegiate level, what was the biggest thing you noticed was different transitioning from high school to college ball, or a piece of advice you would give them?
A piece of advice I would say is to get very connected with your teammates, because those are the people that you'll fall back on when it's good times, bad times, everything in between. And in terms of the difference between high school and college, I think the biggest difference I've noticed is the pace of the game, the physicality, like everything's the next level. Everybody is here for a reason. Everybody knows what they're doing. Everybody can play. So finding the little things that make you different from the next player really changes the game.
And talk a little bit about your game last season in terms of the impact you had on the court that might go beyond what the box score numbers show.
Yeah, I feel like for me, specifically being a freshman coming into a program with already everybody was set on what they were doing, their roles were already placed. I think for me, I was just trying to be as different as possible, showing coach like, I can do this, put me in the role to do this, I'll do all the little things, I'll take charges, I'll die for the ball. The reason why I played so much freshman year is because of my defense, and I pride myself in playing defense well and being a voice on the court for a coach, for my other teammates. I think behind closed doors we had a lot of leaders, and I was just waiting my turn to be the leader that I know I could be for coach and for the teammates.
And finally, how have you worked to improve your game for your sophomore year in hopes to make an even bigger impact on this team?
Yeah, well, this past summer I've been working out. Like, it's been everyday work between work and actually working out. Like, I feel like I've put in so many hours to perfect my craft and be able to be that pivotal person for the team, like changing the game and being able to be 4, 5, 6 dimensional, where we have 6 people that's coming back returning and a whole bunch of people that can really put a big impact out on the floor.
We're joined by head coach Courtney Burns in her 3rd season with the women's basketball team. Courtney, with almost an entirely new team from year 1 to year 2, talk about the growth you saw from your players as the season progressed after having some early season struggles.
Yeah, I mean, last year, the year before, graduating 8 of the 13, coming in, bringing in 13 new players the following season. You know, we knew we had the ability to really kind of recruit for our style and for our system, and everybody came from a little bit of a different background. We had 7 Division I transfers, 6 freshmen. Freshmen had to grow up really early. Got a lot of playing experience early on in the season, and when we made the schedule, you know, talking with those players through the recruiting process, you know, we wanted to play the best of the best. So we didn't really take it easy on ourselves, played a lot of top 25 teams, team that won the NCAA tournament the year before, and got a chance to really see what that's going to look like and, you know, where we wanted to get to. And, you know, I think the best thing about that group was, you know, our seniors were tremendous in terms of their leadership and, you know, really just instilling our culture, how we handle things on the court, how we handle things off the court, how we handle adversity. And the one thing I can say about that group is they just never quit. They're very family-oriented. They're very close. You know, they go hard at each other in practice and, you know, leave it on the floor when they go into the locker room. And, you know, I think as a coaching staff and as a team, we just kept getting better and better and better and better. And I think things really started to click for us, you know, after winter break. And, you know, they started to see the results of focusing on those details and those little things. And, you know, to finish off the regular season in a 7-game win streak, you know, I think was a huge confidence booster for those guys and just some motivation going into the postseason, getting ready for next year.
And then talk about that culture you talked about a little just now that you've built for the program over your last 2 seasons at the helm and how you've developed it.
Yeah, you know, I feel like I'm a player's coach. You know, I want them to take a lot of the leadership and, you know, hold each other accountable. I always feel like if, you know, our players can hold each other accountable, that's going to be, you know, a stronger culture than, you know, me having to be that person every time. And I think last year we were trying to find some of our leaders outside of the 3 seniors that we had returning, who's going to be our leaders on the floor. Alyssa Rosmel has stepped up big time for us over the last year, not just, you know, on the floor, but off the floor as a leader. I think a lot of our players gravitate towards her. Cam Porter is just one of those players that just does everything the right way, is going to go hard all the time, and, you know, hard to lean on someone as a freshman as a leader. But, you know, I think as the season progressed, people saw that work ethic and that attention to detail, and it was a pretty natural path for us to kind of lean on those 2 going into the following season. And I think everyone's kind of able to figure out what their role is and what things kind of look like for the year moving forward. And then off the court, I'm really big on that family environment. And so we do a ton of stuff together as a team outside of basketball, team dinners, team escape rooms, which are always interesting to kind of see the dynamics in those situations. Game nights, things along those where, they get to know them as people, not just basketball players. And, I think that translates onto the floor. And, like we said earlier, I think a big part of, why we're able to stick together through that adversity of, all those losses early on in the season last year.
And then the CACC is quietly starting to become one of the more competitive conferences in the East region for basketball. How much does that challenge help you guys and you as a coach to keep improving year after year?
Yeah, I mean, the CACC has done a great job over the last few years, especially in the NCAA tournament, and kind of making those deep runs. The Jeffersons and Holy Families of the world. This year, being able to get a crack at them twice, I think is going to be awesome for us. And I think the league is just getting better and better. The coaches are doing a great job, and it's nice to be able to go into a game every single night where we know it's going to be competitive. It's going to make us better. It's going to push us, to our ultimate goal of getting ourselves to the NCAA tournament and getting there and being able to win some games and get to those Sweet 16s and those Elite Eights, and having the conference that we have, and it continuing to strengthen is only going to help us to prepare us as we go to those moments.
And finally, what excites you about the team that you've assembled for this year and the potential that they have?
I think the end of the year, there was a point where it was like, we're going to kind of turn the corner. What does this look like? And there were times I wasn't sure if we were. And, as you recruit players, you have these visions for them and where they fit and what they can do. And we start to see that kind of come to fruition at the end of the year. And, this preseason has been so exciting just to see all the carryover of the culture and them instilling it in our freshmen, instilling it in our newcomers. And, we got some experience now coming back, and so they're working really hard right now. We're gelling really well together. A lot of really good things going on and off the court. So I'm excited when we get to kind of officially start after Columbus Day and get ourselves in and see us for some other competition as well.
Head coach Courtney Burns in her third season with the women's basketball program, who will open up their season in the middle of November at Southern New Hampshire University.
Welcome back in, folks. Here, Lemoyne Field, we have a 1-0 affair as the Eagles picked up the first and only goal of the first half. Lucas Fernandez, who ended up finding the back of the net, and it is actually Bruno Mestras. Other than that one goal he let by, he's been awesome. A couple of big saves towards the ends of that half and kept us at this 1-0 score you see right now. For those just jumping in, hi, welcome. Thanks for coming in. What you missed was a pretty good first half, and we're expecting even better second half here upcoming. We are also keeping an eye on Wilmington and Bridgeport. No matter what happens today, the championship game will be hosted at Post University, whether Post is playing it or not, trying to get to the championship game. They have made the championship game every single full season since, I believe, 2018, or every year since 2018, they've been in the championship final. If they do so again, win this one, they'll be playing at home. Wilmington, Bridgeport will be over here. One of those two teams, they are deadlocked at 1, and we'll see if we know the final of that one before we go final here. Holy Family, Post University, number 5 versus number 1, as David trying to knock down Goliath. And Post trying to return to the championship game and win the championship game. Won a few in a row before Felician stopped the streak a season ago. And now with Felician out of the mix, we will have a new championship regardless. Here's some first half stats. Again, really nothing too crazy. Only 2 shots for Holy Family. You did have 7 shots from Post, and uncharacteristic, pretty aggressive first half from them offensively. 1 save by Dufont, 2 saves by number 27, Bruno Mestras, and both of them very, very, very big. You have 3 shots for Luis Rodriguez. He has an assist as long as Aiden Tross, as they had the helpers to Luis Fernandez. Only 2 reserves came in and checked in for Holy Family, while Post ended up using 5 different players. Looks like we are rearing ready to go. Post will have first kick, and Fernandez will do the honors in just a minute. Also to note, already 2 yellow cards assessed, both towards Holy Family. And it was 1 to Sean McKenna, about 45 seconds left in the first half. And then as we got out of the half, or done with the first half, going into halftime, it was Ned Lewis who said the magic words and picked up his first yellow card. And we saw a bunch of them late in the last first round matchup between Post University and Georgian Court. We'll see if that trend continues here. Dufont will be the one to kick it away, as we are underway here in Waterbury, Connecticut. Again, 5-1 Post is all-time against Holy Family in the playoffs. And the last 3 meetings have all been in this exact scenario, a semifinal. Winner moves on, loser goes home, and the last 3 times that's been the case, it's been Post moving on. Last time these 2 teams met in the championship or in the playoffs was in 2019, year 2 of their post-long streak of going to the championships every single season. Vercosa, big tackle. Coming down is Gonzalez, and a yellow card right off the rip. Going to go to Vercosa again, I think that's more of a reactionary, trying to get ahead of things card. Was a hard takedown. Obviously, no malicious intent, but with a couple of the cards already given to the other side, that's more of a let's not get chippy now type of card given out. Also, just 3 total corner kicks, 2 from Post, 1 from Holy Family. Here come the Eagles. Across the pitch. Fernandez. Up ahead. Pomeroy goes back middle. Tenorio, no, not there. And a couple of times you see them try to set up a good pass that just goes a little bit too out in front, too far behind. Just not quite where it needs to be. Gonzalez, not a good touch. Rodriguez, a better one. And Pomeroy starting off this second half in the starting lineup. Sanyang got a lot of the first run when Milagros went out. Milagros still out, but is warming up as another corner kick upcoming. Clock will stop and then start again, I guess. Fernandez, his left foot. It's low liner, and Holy Family dig it out. Very chilly, about 45 to 50 degrees here in Waterbury, Connecticut. Not much sun. Sun did come out to play a little bit with us, but for the most part has been hermited behind the clouds. So right now, 45 degrees. That will be today's high. A brisk wind and quintessential New England late fall day. As Thanksgiving coming up on the schedule soon. Before you know it, we'll have the end-of-year festivities, the Christmases and the Hanukkahs and the Kwanzas and all that. And pretty soon, 2025 will be in the rear-view mirror, and we're looking on to 2026. It creeps up. This year seems like it went by in a blur. And post-university men's soccer and Holy Family men's soccer both trying to hang another trophy in their trophy cases. My research could find that Holy Family has won a conference championship before in the CACC. Looking in their history books and did not see a championship win for them. Booted away. I believe that's Bogdan Steer, who's been a staple of defensive end for Holy Family, booting it out. Good thing today was this game played today, not yesterday. Talk about dreary, sub 40 degrees. Or even there was some flurries in the area yesterday. Potentially here in Waterbury. Fernandez trying to sneak in on Castro, applying pressure. And back to Castro with some space to operate. Otungi takes it right back as Posts, like normally, has dominated the time of possession to begin things in the second half. Fracoso let it bounce and will throw it in. Cormac McGinley, the Derry, Ireland native, transfer from West Liberty. And as whistle blows, I believe a free possession for HFU. Tigers 4-1-1 this year when scoring multiple goals. It's a tough defense to try to beat once, let alone twice. Have been shut out 6 different times, and most of the time actually at home. They played this game earlier this year on the beginning of October in Philadelphia, and it was a 3-1 post win. Holy Family, 23 goals scored, 40 allowed this year, but since they've made the switch to new goalkeeper Bruno Mestras, they have been allowing sub 1 goal a game. So cutting their, basically strengthening their defense by 2. Nationally, they're 22nd in saves per game as a team, 49th in shots on goal percentage as a team. Kiss 32nd in the nation in game-winning goals. Phillips, the former goalkeeper, his time 29th in saves per game and still is up there. He had 53 stops in 12 games. And Lewis, 43rd shots on goal percentage, and Gutierrez, 49th in total assists. George Montag is the head coach, has been here for 14 seasons, and even more than that when you count his stint as the assistant coach for a few years, from 2005 to 2011. So in all, around 20-plus years with Holy Family. As a head coach, he's 90, 125, and 29. It was a CACC Coach of the Year just a couple of seasons ago. Played at LaSalle. He was 3-time All-MAAC, 2-time All-Region, and was inducted to their Hall of Fame in 1997. Mark Ferretti, Shane Stock joined him on the assistant coaching docket, as well as Shane Holmes, who's in his 5th season. Played for Holy Family in Harcum. Was a first-team All-CACC during his time with the Tigers. Tenorio, it's back to him. Pomeroy into the corner. Eden Tross. This one will land in New Jersey. Not quite what he was looking for. They're going to say no one tipped it either. So that'll go against him. Verkosa pops this one into the air, and that's going to be last touch off the right eye of Luis Rodriguez, a Coimbra, Portugal native. Nobody home for the through ball, and Dufont will be there to pick it up himself. Talk about Dufont, how good he is. 8-1-7, a save percentage up over 90, a goals against average. That's sub .60, 0.57, 82 saves, just 9 goals allowed, 7 clean sheets, almost as many shutouts this year as he has just straight goals allowed. And just looking at the schedule, you can see just one time all season Dufont Company allowed multiple goals. That was a 2-2 draw against Bridgeport. Rodriguez, fancy footwork. He will bring it back to Tross. And speaking of 2-2s, scores in Bridgeport, them in Wilmington at 2-2. As both teams picked up goals pretty early into the second half. And that will be off of Holy Family, I believe. Nope, they're saying off of post. My apologies. Goalie kick. So Theo Phelan, he got the first goal of the day for Wilmington. And then Soren LaRue and João Miranda picked up the first goal and the second goal for Bridgeport. And then basically a minute and a half later, it was Shintaro Morimoto picking up goal, the equalizer for Wilmington. And that's where we stand now. Again, winner of both contests will be here regardless on Saturday, as Post was rewarded the bid to host the championship games, and it's not a top remaining seed's home turf. It's a bid process here in the CACC, and that bid went to Post, who felt they had another really good chance at hosting things. They were selected to finish second in the preseason coaches poll, but end up picking up that one seed overall. Number one projected seed Felician, who won last year against Post, ended up actually getting knocked out after having a disappointing season after a championship. End up sixth in the CACC and got dumped in the first round by Wilmington. Tross inside, then back outside, back inside, but stout defense right there. Ricardo Panicia Giraldez from Oporto, Spain. With an number 35, Rafael Govea. First time we've seen him in this game. Iago Rodriguez, Marcus Botungi sends it down, trying to pick up Tross, but way too away from him. Panicia Giraldez stomps it out. Lucas Glade and Mateus Milagros looking to check back in for the first time. Milagros came out around that time of the first goal. Working on a calf, it looked like. He looks like he's ready to go back into the game after some warm-ups, as well as Lucas Glade, who also came out a little bit after Milagros did. He's looking to check back in as well. 15 minutes done in half two, and really nothing to show for it for either side. It's kind of just been back and forth in the midfield. First run, shot. It's tipped around. Still in possession of Holy Family. Kiss. And that one bends way too much. Did not get a good shot on it. You had two chances. The first one was the best. It was blocked, however. Also in the game, Corey York, right, number 38. And the two substitutions you mentioned earlier are in. And one of them, Pomeroy, is off. And the second one is Fernandez. Kicked around, headed down. Botungi almost lost it, but goes 1-on-3 and keeps it. That's Mamadou Niang is in, number 31 for Holy Family. So they're starting to get to the bench more. Again, just two reserves used in the first half. Multiple here. see if they can find some cracks in the newcomers, even though most of them are in the offensive end of things. And usually the case, you don't really want to make sure your communication is as stout as it possibly can in the back end. That's why you don't see too many new defenders come in for both of these squads. Shot, Glee, that's going to go well wide. Whistle blows. Corner upcoming, so it looked like it was deflected. And Luis Rodriguez will be the one do it. Has started in every game he has played. Every game that Post has played, 16 for 16. And it's actually going to be the near side, as originally everyone was lining up like it was going to be a kick coming from that far end. But a little cardio work for Rodriguez. I guess he needs to get his steps in. So here we go. It's up, and it's off of the hip of Mestris. And actually, it's going to be off of the hip of a Post player as Verkosa is down. We'll take a quick break. While he gets looked at, we'll be back. And nope, I think he's doing all right. So we will actually stay here. Thought he was going to be down a little bit longer, but he's a trooper. He's a warrior. Verkosa went kind of in. Mestris is there to greet him, so good sportsmanship by him. And Verkosa is up. Clock did pause at 26:46. And it drains now. Here's Niang. Room to operate. Goes 1-on-2. Tries to leave it for Govea. Curling. Niang there. Popped up. Botungi keeps it in. Milagros in the corner. Ricochets off of a Tiger. Stays in. Botungi wins it. And Milagros back to center ice. Rodriguez blasted one to Germano. He had to adjust to it. Friendly fire almost. Chipped in. Good play on the back end. Miago Rodriguez. Back post. Dufont gets in position. Shot. Sent away. Not by Dufont, but it's Germano. So shot coming from Govea is sent away. Chipped in. Back post. Actually, not Govea. It was Gutierrez who had that shot before. My apologies. And they try to go back to him again, and Dufont, looking up, said, guys, what are we doing? He has been excellent all season long. Demonstrated that against Georgian Court last time out. Again, 11 saves, and 8, 9, 10, and 11 are all end of game, just piling it on, trying to come out with the short 1-0 victory. And he answered the call every single time. Castro sends it back. Nowhere to go for Steer. Finally gives it to Gutierrez. And all the way back out to Jarrett Lawley. In the corner is Tross. Cutting inside. Out. Sent over. Agnaldo Germano. Big play. Doesn't get to that. That is Kiss with a whole bunch of pitch to play with. Glade into the corner. Milagros. Low. Booted away. Lawley there. Throw in for Post as we're approaching 20 minutes left. Checking in on Wilmington Bridgeport, and it looks like it's still deuce in Bridgeport, Connecticut. And Botungi gets clipped. Post led by Ted Haley, who actually celebrated a birthday on Sunday, so a win plus a birthday cake at home. That's a pretty good day if you ask me. 218 wins total in his 21st season here at Post University. 6 times the CACC champ, 4-time Coach of the Year. Played at UConn and the College of Charleston. Luis Figueiredo, 8th season next to Haley, Ryan Dunnigan, and Scott Vanderwall. Vanderwall starting on the women's side of things and then moving over to the men's program where he's been a stout goalkeepers coach. And now they're going to check on Milagros, who was down on a knee. And again, so his last couple of games seen him getting worked on. And he and Tross will be out. Botungi, he's still out there. So we're about ready to get back going. My apologies. Tross not out, just went over to grab a drink of water. Let's jump in the gun a little bit on Tross's exit. He's still in there. 21-35 to go in half number 2. Post trying for back-to-back 1-0 victories to start their tournament run. Holy Family trying to get back into this one and upset Post University. Rodriguez goes across. No dice there. It was Tenorio they were trying to get to. This one gets by Vercosa. Here's a chance. This is your opportunity. Corey York widens out. Back middle. Tipped. Dufont saves it from going out. Wow. Not going to be a save on goal, but saves a corner kick. He is just everywhere. Leopold Dufont. I don't think Spider-Man could have got to that ball. He's having a generational type run, a generational type season. One of the best in all of Division II, and I'd venture to guess probably best anywhere you look. one of those rare instances where, hey, he's going to probably get goalkeeper of the year. Do you think he's player of the year in the conference as well? Usually they split them up, goalkeeper, defensive, and offensive player. So, but if they had just a singular MVP or player of the year, you definitely have to heavily consider Leopold Dufont. Might be the most valuable player to any team in the conference. The defense has been good, and it's one of those things where is it he's so good or is the defense so good? And he's had multiple games where he's had to stop double-digit shots, and this defense is fantastic and very, very good on their own right. But also I think it helps to have him back there. I don't think the defense is so good it makes him look good or he's so good it makes the defense. I think both are true. But Dufont has just been that good. When the defense does fail him, it's not like it's a 40% success. You barely get any success against this defense. Have played 16 games, have allowed 9 goals. Almost as many as 8 shutouts on the season. Let me just double check, make sure I have that number right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 8 shutouts, 9 goals allowed. That's pretty good. I don't claim to be an in-the-weeds soccer fan, but that's pretty good, I'd say. Post putting pressure on. Botungi the first touch. Chance, and that's blocked for Kosa. Put his back to the play at the right time. Lewis has had a couple of opportunities, and all of which have been stopped in that fashion. They backtrack. Fernandez. Whistle blows, and looks like it can be a free kick upcoming for Post. And the Sun's trying to get back as Fernandez will send this one away. And it's blocked. He went short with it. Sent away. Fernandez to Botungi into the corner. Germano. He waits for it. Fernandez wasn't offside. He might have been. So good awareness by the freshman, but Coach Haley not happy with the execution there. Thought he had a pretty good play drawn up and just not executed. In the corner, still alive. York feeds middle, blocked defensively. Incredible play by Rigi on the back end. And that's why you don't stop until the whistle's blown. Rigi probably saved a goal there. Also, there's no Tenorio out there. And whistle blows. Holy Family upset, thinking they finally got some momentum. And the referee back to post. So just past the 15-minute mark, or the 60th minute mark technically, of the game. 15 minutes left to go. All the way down. Good ball, still on the run. Mistress is at the end of that rainbow, however. Thiago Feller back in, or in for the first time, the Argentinian. Go to Fernandez. Glade going to chip it in. Feller stopped. Ball's loose. If he kept up with it, would have actually got a chance. Thought it went behind him. But incredible pass by Glade. Just find that pocket, boot it in there, and let his teammate go make a play on it. She almost did. Almost the key operative there. Reverse it back. Mestres is up. Gutierrez tracks it down. It's time to really sell out for Holy Family if they want to keep this one going. 1-0 your score. Again, thank you for joining us here today. Cody Shalafu on the call for today's semifinal action. Bridgeport, Wilmington going against each other today. And with 10 minutes left in their game as Dufont gets a hand on it. They're 2-2, tied up. Number 12, Jackson Kiss for the Tigers is in as Mamadou Niang is out. So a big chance upcoming for Holy Family. They don't have many left. Back post a little far away, headed back in. Romano. Into the corner. No offsides called just quite yet. And McGinley will head it away. Dufont not happy. I don't know if he was barking a teammate or an opponent. Either way, they'll have another corner kick flipped this time. Put it away. In the box. Sent away. Back in. And clock will stop. Player down. From a push, I think. And it's Lewis on the ground. Dufont pleading his case. But a yellow card, I believe, on Leopold Dufont. And Lewis went down. So both sides have picked up 2 cards. And the clock is stopped at 11:47 now. Kind of wondering what the aftermath of this is going to be. Is it going to be a free kick? Is they... Oh, no, think of it. I think Dufont got tossed. That's huge. That's a red card. I thought it was a yellow. Excuse me. So Dufont is out, and that will put Chris Jones into the net. This is as big of a swing you could possibly get as Dufont is out. Jones, the senior transfer from Goldie Beacom, will be the reserve He has had a total of 7 minutes in net this season. He's going to have to play the biggest 12 of his life to keep this one where it is. Dufont is out, and it is Chris Jones who has one save all year. That's it. Wow. Yeah, originally thought it was just a yellow card. Dufont walking off with a red has been sent out of this ball game. And we'll see where they give the ball as well, as they have to give time for Jones to kind of get saddled up. He's going to come out here cold. We did see a goalie get ejected earlier this year. It was goalie Beacom's goalie. Back on the 18th of October, you get tossed out right after Post tied things up 1-1 in the 89th minute. Coach Vanderwall right there with his keeper. Dufont besides himself. And he's going to get the embrace of his teammates, Tenorio, Fernandez, and Rodriguez. So the ball will be placed right outside of the box. Jones will come in. Chris Jones will be here and will probably face a shot immediately. So for those views, Dufont pushed Ned Lewis right out of the way. It will be post-possession, it looks like, but Dufont ejected from this game. And with the card, if there is a Saturday for the Eagles, he will not be the keeper. So it will not be a free kick for Holy Family, but it will instead be a goalie kick for Post. And now Holy Family has to feel pretty good about their chances now with all-world goalkeeper Leopold Dufont out. And it'll go as a throw-in. So again, Chris Jones, a senior goalkeeper, transfer from goalie Beacom, has played a grand total of 6 minutes and 56 seconds this season. He will now be tasked for the last 11 minutes 56 of this one. Try to keep this 1-0. Devastating blow. See if Post can handle it. See if Holy Family can take advantage. Sent in. Jones lets it go. And clock stops again. If the winning team this late into the game is making substitutions, they will pause the clock for them to do so. So they will throw out Tenorio. Let him go out there. Feller comes out. Fernandez and Rodriguez still on the sideline. Also, the referee will have kind of jurisdiction to stop the clock whenever they feel that Post University is not making a honest attempt to forward the game. You know, if it's a corner kick or a throw-in or a free kick, which they believe that Post is taking their sweet time to try to drain as much clock off as possible, they have the authority to stop the game to give Holy Family that respect and that opportunity to use every second they possibly can, and they're going to need every second they can get. They only have 600 left. 10 minutes. 600 seconds. Post trying to hold on. Put the boot down, Ricardo. Panikia, Geraldez. Tenorio with a step ahead. Lally comes into the play. And a corner kick upcoming. A goalie kick upcoming. My apologies. Hard to see. The ref is pointing just from the vantage point we have here in the newly made press box here at Lemoy Field. Came in just about a month or two ago. Glad I'm up in here instead of outside for this game. I'll tell you that. Nine minutes. A chance to play Saturday. Last couple times these two teams have met in this exact situation, it was Posts coming away with it. Holy Family trying to break that mold. McKenna goes down. That's going to draw the free kick. And Holy Family will keep it moving. Ovea with some chances up the middle. Bent in. Hermano taken down. No call. Botungi, head full of steam. Gets by McKenna. No, he does not. Gets tripped up. And that's going to be a card. Second yellow for McKenna. And that probably is it. It is the red. So second yellow card for McKenna trying to make a slide tackle against Botungi. He is out. If Holy Family moves on, he will not be playing in the championship match. So 2 yellows make a red. And a total of 5 cards thrown out here tonight. And now with 8 minutes and 19 seconds for Kosa and the Eagles trying to keep it down here as much as humanly possible. Govea, misstep. Glade, see if they attack or try to waste time. Tross wasting no time to Tenorio. The goal scorer, game winner, last time out. Tenorio, he's close. Middle. Oh, chipped up. And Rigi, I think, is the one there. Couldn't quite put it away. Would have been the dagger. But they will play on. Jones will get down on it and gets up enough to avoid the "you're wasting time" timeout. So plays it perfectly. All the way over to Diego Rigi, who goes by 2 defenders. Up ahead, Tenorio on another run. Trying to get down to Glade. Gets it back off the deflection. It's 2-on-6 now down here. And down goes Glade. Is that in the box? Yes! Time is out. And I believe a penalty kick being rewarded as Glade right on the edge of the box. It's taken down. And Tenorio, who scored from this spot Sunday, will try to put the icing on this cake and get Post to the weekend. 6 goals in his last 7 games. Can it make it 7 for his last 8? Here we go. Tenorio versus Mestris. Hesitation. Beats him. 2-0 Posts. And that could be their ticket punched right there. Give some leeway for the defense. This year when scoring multiple goals, it's only happened a couple times, but they are 3-0-1 when doing so. For those looking for an update for the other game going on right now, first overtime, Wilmington-Bridgeport. 2-2. Popped away, 6 minutes, 20 to go, as Post just took a 2-0 lead. What's been a fantastic match beginning to end. Post has allowed just 3 shots on net. The other side, just 4 offensively. They've had some more runs, some more opportunities than we were accustomed to them seeing, especially early on in games. Mono pops it up. Jones comes out, makes the stop from Denton, Maryland, studying business. One of 4 goalkeepers listed. Let's have Ricardo Moreno and Dean Fitzgerald, but Fitzgerald's been actually playing more as a field player this year. Let's do Font. Ejected out of this game with around 12 minutes remaining in the half. He has finally joined his teammates in the bench area after being pretty understandably so, a little distraught and had to camp out by himself, but now back in with his team cheering the Eagles on. Ginley kicks it away. Jones audibly disappointed as he thought he had it all teed up, but, as a defender, you can't know that for sure. Under 4. Corner kick upcoming. Another one. Just the 4th of the day for Holy Family. 8th total of the contest. Looks good. Straight in the air. Tracking it down is Recamuzzi. Sent away. Jones tested for the first time. Makes the save. Approaching 2.5 minutes left. Chipped. Sent away. Two minutes left. Saad into the corner. Jones high points it. Collision. And Germano pleading his case for his keeper as the time stops. As Jones is down, as well as Bogdan Steer, who came flying in. Excuse me, my apologies. Jackson Kiss, 12 not 2. And a post player down away from the play. I think that's Germano. And we'll bring the trainer out. 1:50 left to go. Checking in on the other contest going on right now. It is still 2-2 in the first overtime period. Bridgeport against Wilmington. As Germano went down away from the ball. So it's a game that's had about everything. Couple goals, good defense, some ejections on both ends. And Germano looks like it's a little bit tight. Will come off the pitch. That would mostly rotate Iago Rodriguez back down into defense. Looks like Bo Pomeroy. It's Bo Pomeroy coming in. And he'll replace in the midfield Rodriguez started as a defender, but once they brought in Cormac McGinley, they actually moved Rodriguez into the defensive midfield. Oh, here we go. 1:50 remaining. Jones will fall on it. And the clock is ticking on Holy Family season. Jones and the Eagles trying to keep this ball as far down here as possible. To Tross. Second shot, skipped up, that's in! And that's Glade. Third time is the charm as posts pick up one late. They didn't need it, but they got it anyway. And the Eagles are going back to the CACC championship game in the next minute and a half. So 3-0 Eagles piling on. They keep their aggressiveness. And they'll be moving on just a moment. At this time, I'd like to just take a chance to talk about the senior class for Holy Family, playing what very might well be their last game. I'm not sure who's coming back for an extra year. This one in the middle. Holy Family stays shut out for the moment. Hitting dicey there. But Bogdan Stier, Aristide, Sannon, Jesus Gonzalez, Ned Lewis, Jackson Kiss, Robert Movena. We appreciate your careers and hope you go on to do bigger and better things. And not sure who's coming back. There are any juniors graduating early, just going off the seniors and graduates off the roster presented to me. But those are the senior classes. We appreciate you guys and what could be the end of their collegiate soccer careers. And yet another championship game will have Post in it. As they have been to every single CACC championship game since 2018. They're trying to avenge their championship loss from a season ago, and they will bring in Wilmington or Bridgeport on Saturday here at Lemoy Field. What was an incredible game that ended up with a 3-0 victory has a lot of implications with DuFont now out of the fold for Saturday. It's going to be Chris Jones and company going at it. Final stats, a goal by Glade, a goal by Tenorio, and a goal by Fernandez in reverse order there. No goals from Holy Family. 2 assists from Trost, 1 from Luis Rodriguez, 1 from Tenorio. And that will be it. We'll be back momentarily. Player interview on the way. Cody Schauf, everyone here at Post, will be back in just a couple of minutes. 3-0 Eagles. We'll talk to a player and then get you out of here.
now that sound is coming out of it.
Michael, do I have to press record?
You can if you want.
Alright, I'll just do it just in case.
All right, Cody Shelby here, joined by Luis Rodriguez. And Luis, great game for you guys. You guys are going back to the championship again, and your offense has been really on fire over the last couple of weeks. Usually a lot of one goal games for you guys, but the last couple of weeks, 2, 3, 4 goals. How has their offense clicked over the last couple of weeks?
Well, first of all, I'm really happy for another final year. Yeah, we train every week, every day to score goals. Is the main goal of
Yep.
the sport.
Right.
So yeah, finally the strikers and midfielders, they start to score some goals, and we are happy that our attacking side is doing its job. So we keep going, and now we have a final to win.
Right, and yeah, you guys have a final to win. Last year, you didn't have the exact result you wanted. This year, you're back at it. What do you guys have to do to make sure that that championship comes home?
Well, I think there's a lot of guys that they were here last year, so we felt that feeling that something's missing from the last year. So this year, I know that everyone that was here and the new guys, they know that we need to do everything to win, because it's massive for us, massive for the program. So we have this main goal, and we're gonna do it.
Well, we'll be here Saturday. We'll be rooting for you guys, and go get that for us, all right?
Thank you so much.
All righty. And we are here with the final goal scorer of the night, Lucas Glade. And Lucas, I was just talking to Luis. Your offense has been so explosive over the last couple of games. And what have you noticed that's been different from the first half of the year offensively to what you guys have done the last couple of games?
I mean, we're just trying to score more. We're trying to shoot more and goal, basically, because we have so much quality in our team. But unfortunately, at the beginning of the season, we didn't quite play really well together. So now we get to know each other very well on the field. We know where everyone is, and we have so much quality. So now it's just getting better and better and better. And hopefully, we're going to score a lot more goals in the future.
Right, and offense is clicking. The defense has been all world over the last, for the last 20 years, it seems like, under Coach Haley. And you guys have some unfinished business to get through on Saturday. Last year, a little sour taste in your mouth that Luis was saying. Everyone's kind of has that mindset now. The offense is working. The defense has obviously been there. Now you guys are hungry, too. It's going to be hard to stop whoever comes in their path on Saturday. But what do you guys have to do to make sure that you get that championship?
Honestly, every game is going to be tough. Even if they're against George Court, now against Holy Family, all the teams they have quality. And at the end, we just have to play our game. Obviously, everyone expects us to win because we are Post University. We have won the last couple of years, except of last year. And honestly, we are all hungry. We talked about it yesterday. Me with a few teammates. We just want to win. Honestly, we're just gonna give everything on the field. We're gonna run, and hopefully, we're gonna score the goals. And at the end, for us, we just have to play our game, stay calm, control the game, and then hopefully we're gonna win that thing.
All right, well, take a nice little rest for tomorrow. Get geared up for Saturday. We'll see you then. All right, friend? Thank you so much. And that's going to do it here from Post University. Again, real quick, just check to see It looks like second overtime, Bridgeport, Wilmington. So we can't tell you what's going on for Saturday, but I know we'll be here. Post men's soccer will be here around 3:30 on Saturday. We'll see you then. I'm Cody Schell, from everyone here at Post University making the day possible. We thank you. 3-0 Post semifinals to the finals. We'll see you on Saturday.